Hello, I'm Dr. Mary Ann Pearson. Many of you have been in my courses before, but there are some new folks. So just so you know, I'm the director over at OPS for Communication Studies for Public Relations and we've developed, I should say, a Master's of Arts in Public Relation that will begin in the fall. So that's my new role. For years, 7 years actually, I've been the director of the journalism program and the faculty advisor for the banner newspaper Angelo's Yearbook and Pursuit magazine. With that said, over the last 7 years, we have seen vast changes in the field of journalism. And the news has developed in a way that now, with all the various forms of recording oneself, including iPhones, iPads, YouTube, just all the different equipment you can use, and the very easy websites where you can upload, similar to YouTube, the world of journalism has changed incredibly. With that said, podcasting is something that has just come to the forefront. In podcasting, the real term of a podcast usually refers to a recorded audio sermon, lecture, talk, program, show, that sort of thing. However, for our course, we're really just teaching you principles of broadcasting and podcasting. So you're learning a little bit about what makes a good episode on a podcast, or what is an effective broadcast material, whether it be a lecture or something entertaining, or actually something educational, or many pastors will use podcasts. So we're analyzing and looking and becoming familiar with this world of broadcasting through podcasts and other means. This is a 200 level class, so we don't go into the technical side very deeply. It's more just an overview and an introduction so that you can get familiar with it. But the idea of these courses that are at this level is that you should be able to learn that nowadays anyone can do what was limited to just a certain group in the past. You can, if you need be, for a club, an organization, a nonprofit, you can record something and you can post it, and who knows where it may take you. So this will get you familiar with what is going on in the world of broadcasting, and kind of introduce you to the concepts involved in that. So you had your first week, and we've met one another. I know several folks were waiting for books to come, and that's typical, I understand. So there's some grace there that first week while you are getting yourself organized and getting your books in and all. For those of you who were not able to respond in your post to 2 or 3 people, there's grace for that too the first week, because I know the first week is kind of an adjustment time where you're just getting familiar. There were some people who added the class late too, so definitely next week try to get all of your posts in on time. If there's any problems still with getting the books, let me know. Many of the books that I use for the public relations and comm courses are available on something called Course Smart. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but if you Google Course, C-O-U-R-S-E, Smart, it's an online method of getting textbooks. For a professor, we were able to get our desk copy without charge. I know for students there is a charge, but it's less than buying the book. I know there's many other sites that students use to rent books, or they use their Kindle. So whatever means you need to use, that's fine. But in the meantime, I really hope you find that this class is an interesting and fun class, because I've seen students gain the skills in this and use this just the technology they learned and the ability to produce a podcast or just a broadcast episode to make creative projects that can benefit families. I've seen some do a birthday wish to an elderly grandparent, or a special talk for a child that child can save forever and have their grandparent or parent or friend telling them a story or telling them something that is meaningful to them. So there are many personal reasons why learning the skill is important too. But as it fits into our comm and PR programs, what we look at is that communication has changed and developed into such a different form than it used to be. And what used to be only available for a select few is now available for the masses. And the more you become familiar with the various technologies, the better you will be able to communicate and be an effective communicator. So there's been assigned reading, and I will be in the future, YouTube's getting into the particulars of the lessons a bit more. I think it's fairly self-explanatory at this point. However, what I like to suggest is if you have a question, send me an email, because generally if you have a question, someone else in the class may too. So sometimes I will send out by email a second YouTube during the week. I usually do these YouTubes about every other week, but sometimes I will send out a clarifying one to explain something that's come up as a question. So I also posted in this weekly folder, week 2, a link to the Grand Terrace Toastmasters, who they also use a podcast. And actually, I attend their meetings. I'm going this Friday at 7 a.m. to their meeting, but many communities have Toastmasters groups, and in some of our other courses, we have required people to attend Toastmasters meetings to do certain assignments, or the other option would be that they attend a speech tournament, so they have a choice there. But in the case of the podcast, I just wanted to let you review that. I know my pastor also uses podcasts. I attend a church in Colton. I live in Grand Terrace. Oh, and just about me, I've been at CBU for full-time for 7 years, starting my 8th year. Prior to that, I was an adjunct, and I also taught at Colton Joint Unified School District at Cooley Ranch Elementary School. I've been a public relations practitioner, journalist, all my life since high school, and I've worked in that field and in education. So my passions are education, journalism, and public relations. I really love in education seeing people master reading. That to me is just incredible, because to be able to communicate effectively, I think you do need to read. You need to be knowledgeable about what you're going to speak about. And also, if you can't read, you can't read the Word of God. And it's so personal when you read it and hear that sort of love message from God to you. So those are my passions. But back to the Toastmasters, I just put that up as a reference for you. There's no assignment to go with that. What you are doing at this point in the course is getting familiar with observing various outlets, and then you will start to work on producing your own podcast episode. So that's coming down the line. There's some reading to do. There's discussion boards. It's all pretty clear. If you've been in my courses before, you know that what I use is course information and learning activities. Those are the main sections. So every week, if you go to learning activities, you open up the weekly folder. There you find what we're doing that week. And I usually stay pretty close to what's there, but once in a while in a course I found that I need to kind of adjust the pacing because the learning curve might be a little slower. There's been some technical problems or something's going on. So if that's the case, I'll definitely inform you. So get familiar. Please post or send me emails for questions, because on the next YouTube I post, I want to be able to go into a little more detail, and if any of you do have questions, that will help me to address those at that time. So I pray you have a blessed week, and if you ever have a prayer request too, please send me an email. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I ask the Lord, who should I be praying for? And often it's something a student has asked me that will come to mind, and I definitely will pray for you. God bless. Take care. Bye.